Good Wednesday afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center with a tornado warning that has been issued for parts of Franklin County here as we're looking out toward the Big Bend, toward the Panhandle here until about 3:30 this afternoon. At about 2:54, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Apalachicola, moving northeast at 15 miles an hour. And what we're talking about here is a water spout. So let me go ahead and switch on over to our other mode so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Kind of just popping on up. We have an area that might end up getting designated by the Hurricane Center pretty soon as a tropical depression or tropical storm, now up to 60% odds. And we've seen a circulation above here as we're looking out ahead of it. And you can see maybe between Apalachicola and East Point is where we're going to be seeing this track here over the next little bit. So we need to go ahead and get folks into shelter right now. A water spout may be tracking in that Apalachicola East Point area. So go ahead and get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Seek shelter inside that interior building, that interior room inside that sturdy building. And just if you can, protect yourself from flying debris by putting on a bicycle helmet. So again, a tornado warning kind of popping up on us. We did have a low chance. We were expecting this maybe later on this evening into the overnight hours, but I'm now seeing a possible tornado pop up here toward Franklin County. So you can see the red and the greens here coming together as we're looking here, as we're getting closer toward Apalachicola and East Point. A tropical disturbance moving northeastward into the northeastern Gulf of Mexico, and generally tracking toward the Big Bend is providing us some of this and some of these parameters here to come into play. So again, kind of just popping up on us a tornado warning here until 3:30. At 2:54, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Apalachicola. That was a little south of there still, as we're looking right now. As I take the radar off for a second, you can kind of see this is in that area, in between those land zones. But Apalachicola, East Point here, expected to have some type of impact from a possible water spout here that would be a tornado in the next few minutes as it were to come on shore. But again, just go ahead and take shelter here, move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid those windows. If you're outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. So again, a possible tornado here toward areas in the Florida Panhandle. You see the reds and the greens coming together really well, unfortunately, here. So we need folks to take those tornado precautions. Again, watching a situation develop here. Rotation's really strong. I know you can hear there maybe some thunder background where I'm at. I'm toward north central Florida. We have some storms in our area that are pretty nasty as well. But let me go ahead and switch on over toward rotation tracker. You can see that pretty well here with that circulation. And over the last little bit, you'll be able to kind of see how that's intensified as it did get closer here toward the Apalachicola East Point area. And as it still gets closer toward those two areas there in toward the Florida Panhandle. So again, a tornado warning. I know our chat system's having some issues, so we didn't get that tornado warning across in there. We're not getting any information from the Weather Service. It doesn't look like right now, unfortunately. So we're just trying to do the best we can. We have that Doppler radar, we have that circulation, we have the tornado warning. So again, I just want to go ahead and get folks into shelter here. A pretty tight circulation, maybe not quite as tight as it was on the last frame, moving toward areas here in Franklin County. You got to go ahead and get into that interior room away from windows as we have a possible tornado in this area. So again, a circulation here maybe a little tighter a moment ago, but it's still tight enough to maybe be producing a water spout here in this area as we go over the correlation coefficient. Remember to see a little bit of that water spout on there. It's hard to say for sure. Didn't really look like a lot there at this moment, but again, could be a tornado. We still have a little more time before it does get to land, but don't wait if you're in Apalachicola at East Point. Go ahead and take those tornado precautions because it would maybe be coming ashore as something that causes damage here over the next little bit. We also have some other weather to tell you about here because we do have a severe thunderstorm warning closer toward the first coast area. That'll expire pretty soon, but I want to go ahead and kind of broaden the view out here. You can kind of see what we're talking about toward Nassau and Camden counties right now. This is still kind of lingering around the coast and maybe a little bit behind here with this radar imagery, but around St. Mary's, Fernandina Beach, the Keens Bay base area, Yulee, and Cumberland Island, we're seeing quite a bit of lightning some gusty winds, some heavy rain, maybe some small hail mixing in as well. So let me go ahead and see if we can take that other system actually for you guys, so you can see what I'm talking about over here. Again, I see in this area of enhancement within our radar echoes here, within the echoes, we're seeing that heavier rain, and over the last hour or so, we've seen some spots here get upward of an inch, maybe an inch and a half, 2 inches, not out of the question in some areas there. So you got to be kind of mindful of what's going on in toward Nassau County. See some storminess here toward, excuse me, the Gainesville Stark area. We're watching that. But again, as we look out toward the Tallahassee area, we have a possible tornado here as we're getting toward Franklin County. You see the circulation here? Going to be maybe moving in toward parts of Franklin County right now, not over land. It'll be a water spout, but something to be monitoring very carefully here in this area. So again, trying to keep an eye on the situation here. A possible tornado in toward some of these areas here. It could be causing some damage pretty soon. So we need to go ahead and take those tornado precautions. Since it's not over land at the moment, it does seem like it's weakening on our latest scan, latest run here of things. You can kind of see how we don't have near the type of circulation as we did a moment ago there. You can kind of see how it's really broadened out. Hopefully that trend continues. Maybe they'll be able to cancel this warning before the storm actually kind of comes to soar with the water spout, but they might just kind of hold it out there for a little bit to be on the safe side. Of course, it's always our policy to be on when there's tornado warnings within the area, and we do have a system that might become tropical here pretty soon. So just trying to gather the latest information here from the Weather Service. So again, you see not near as much of the greens and reds coming together with those brighter colors like what we saw a moment ago here. You can see how bright they were as this was getting issued by the Weather Service in Tallahassee. But right now, not near as tight as it gets closer to the coast. It looks like we just got an update. Again, we're having issues with the chat session, but at 3:09, it looks like a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Apalachicola. Again, keep in mind they used the biggest city here, closest to the circulation, since it's kind of over water right now. It's pretty close, but Roy might be headed a little bit off toward the east here as we talk about East Point, maybe in the path in the next 10 minutes or so. It's moving northeast at 15. Again, the circulation's really kind of falling apart in latest scans, but still could have some gusty winds here in this area as well. So I just got to bear that in mind here. Again, watching that, watching some other areas. We'll see if we get some other circulations to spin on up here. We'll have to just kind of see how things come together. It's an unusual environment here as things generally, we don't generally have a tropical system trying to develop right when we get toward the coastline like this, but that's exactly what's happening here. We may be having a tropical depression or a weak tropical storm Mindy trying to develop here as this gets closer to the coast. So got to keep that in mind. In fact, we have another mode we can go to. Let me make sure it takes this computer this time. Are you able to see what we're talking about? I mean, we have a circulation here that's trying to emerge, it seems, in the Gulf of Mexico, folks. So just got to bear that in mind. Got to be careful here. Maybe having a developing tropical storm right now. I mean, might be seeing that as we're speaking to you still. That very well may be something that's occurring. These maybe just the outer bands, really. This might be the first real outer band from what could end up becoming Mindy here, or at least a tropical depression in short order. It may already be one, but not officially designated by the Hurricane Center yet. So again, we're watching things carefully. That's why I have our logo red, because it looks like we're gonna have something tropical with this here. It's seemingly becoming more likely here by the moment. So again, let's go ahead now and pop up our tornado tips. We'll go ahead and do that real quick. I know did some updates on our system last night, so things are just a little bit displaced in here and then popping on pretty quick for something like this. Just trying my best here to keep you guys safe this afternoon. We did have that low chance, though, of tornadic activity that we warned you about last night, and even yesterday in the late afternoon time frame in our update. Of course, we'll be on here with an update in a little bit. Hopefully we get this tornado warning drop pretty soon, but still watching things a lot weaker, but there is still a little bit of circulation here. We're getting a TVS signature trying to show up, so they're not letting this tornado warning go yet. You can see how they've narrowed it down, though, mainly toward just the East Point area at this point, so really getting Apalachicola out of this. I know technically they say Apalachicola in the warning information, but this is looking like it's going to be moving more further off toward the east here, so I just got to kind of keep that in mind. We're continuing to watch things. We're going to take a quick break in the coverage, and we'll be right back. Back here in the Weather Center, continuing our tornado warning coverage again. We have a circulation here toward Franklin County. We're looking southwest to Tallahassee in our far, really southwesternmost county with this, but we're continuing to kind of see the latest trends within the radar echoes, and right now we're seeing things kind of weaken on off some, but still take shelter. This is a pretty small tornado warning at this point, a pretty short time frame tornado warning in what's left here at only 14 minutes. So go ahead and make sure you just stay in that tornado safe area if you're within the polygon. Now I do want to go ahead and switch to a different mode. Again, you see that really small red polygon on the screen now. As I broaden the view out, you see the blue area here, indicative of what the Storm Prediction Center is talking about now, where a watch may be issued, but probably not. Only a 5% chance here of that issuance occurring. So let me go ahead and broaden that out a little bit more so you see the tornado warning. You see everything that's going on. They're saying that a cluster of thunderstorms over the Northeast Gulf has shown some signs of tropical cyclone formation, but the overall structure of the system is still a bit disorganized. Likewise, only modest increases in flow shear have been observed over land with a small looping hodogram noted there. The modest increase in the vertical shear has been sufficient enough, though, for some weak supercell structures now approaching Franklin County, and then that means a brief tornado may occur here, or maybe even a couple of them as a supercell does end up kind of crossing the coast here. The overall threat, though, is marginal in nature, so that's good news. Tornado watch not necessary at this point. I just saw a flash flood warning pop up. We do have a flash flood watch, by the way, if you saw it on my super there a moment ago. We do have that for some of our counties here toward the Florida Panhandle. This is though this warning's outside of our area toward, it looks like Bay, Calhoun, Gulf, and Washington until 6:15 Central, 7:15 Eastern for those that are interested in that time zone. I'm not 100% sure if that actually eclipses any of the Eastern time zone there, but again, watching that out toward Panama City, because none of those counties actually are a viewing circle over there, but again, continuing to watch things with that threat there, with that threat of some heavier rain moving on in. I know we've already had a lot of rain there from Fred, and now a tropical system is just trying to emerge on us pretty quick, and we've had tornado warning. Again, circulation not near as tight as it was, but I don't want you guys to let your guard down. It seems like we might be getting other little spins to try to emerge in here, which is possible based on some of the parameters I've been noting. So let's go on over to other mode. You can see here we have an area of spin as we're looking there. Right maybe toward areas there as we get right toward the coast. I'm talking about not even as we get more toward East Point and Apalachicola, but just as we get to that initial point of land there. But you can kind of see a couple areas of green and red trine. They come together. Nothing really impressive, but that other area tightened up so quickly, very quickly here. So I just got to kind of be mindful of what can happen here in this environment. Again, a tornado warning in play for parts of Franklin County until 3:30, another 11 minutes or so. That warning out toward the first coast has expired. Haven't seen any reports, but again, I think our chat room's having issues. So let me go ahead and check this manually here. I'm gonna check some manual information, see if we have any reports coming on in. I don't see anything on our other source right now, so that's some good information here. I guess that meaning no information is good information here in terms of severe weather sometimes. So again, watching things carefully. Again, a tornado warning in play. We've got some other areas of spin, so we have to be kind of mindful here of what can happen. Again, you see an area here of weak rotation, nothing terribly impressive, but they're just kind of letting a warning ride for now. We have other areas of spin trying to develop, maybe not enough for tornado warning at this point, but you can kind of see them here with some reds and greens trying to emerge here as we get maybe toward, it looks like West Sawyer Street there, as we get over toward some of these spots here, as we again get closer toward the Gulf of Mexico. So again, tornado warning, small area. It's our policy to be on for any of our 50 plus counties when they're under a tornado warning. So that's why we're sticking with you here. Again, I'm not terribly impressed at this point. Earlier on, it was pretty impressive what we were seeing this. Let me back it up. You're able to see what a signature looks like for maybe a water spout here or a tornado when this is over land. We have the greens and the reds coming together so bright like that. That's what we were concerned. It gave us a good warning on it. That was a warranted warning, folks, because of what we were seeing within the radar echoes, given some lead time there for everybody at the coast to take shelter. And still, this may not be the only tornado warning we get, because we have other spins here trying to emerge in this environment. Special marine warning just issued here, a new one, water spout potential and 40 mile an hour, or excuse me, 40 knot gust here, the possibility. So again, hopefully we will wrap this up pretty soon, kind of regroup, because it looks like I might have more of these here throughout the rest of the afternoon and evening hours. But again, right now a tornado warning for parts of Franklin County until 3:30. So make sure you're taking those tornado precautions. I'm gonna gather more information as we're just not seeing too much right now within the radar echoes. I'll be back shortly. Back here in the Weather Center, we're just going to do scanning with the radar. You see the heavy rain, maybe some gusty winds at least around East Point, but not seeing as much in terms of a possible tornado here at this moment. So that's some good news. You have a little bit of a circulation maybe down toward the south. Maybe a couple of circulations trying to form though, so we'll have to be mindful of that. But nothing is tight, nothing enough to warrant a new tornado warning, I don't think, at this point. So that's some good news. But again, still just kind of keeping an eye on the weather situation here. As we watch the latest radar echoes, you see some different areas of shear, but again, nothing really impressive. But again, even if it's our far southwesternmost county with a tornado warning, we have to jump on for you to keep you, your friends, and your family safe, and that's what we're doing here this afternoon. Again, we had that low tornado threat. I thought it would maybe come into play a little bit later on, but you have that energy around, and we have a storm that seems to be developing. I think that might be the bigger story again while we're on. I mean, it looks like I may have a tropical depression or tropical storm out here right now. I mean, it hasn't officially been designated by the Hurricane Center, but looking at the radar, I mean, this looks like at least a tropical depression, and depending upon the wind speeds, a tropical storm very well could be already here in the Gulf of Mexico. And it looks like the tornado warning has just been dropped. So that's some good news. It just went away on our system, so let me go ahead and take that information off. But again, you see that area of spin there in the Gulf. I mean, it's pretty well defined. I mean, and then you have the banding feature here that could produce some severe weather. Excuse me, I apologize. Some severe weather. So again, we have to be kind of mindful of this as we go throughout the rest of the afternoon and the evening hours. So again, we'll be here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for now, regroup, because we need to kind of get in a little bit better spot here to be able to maybe go longer form here for some tornado coverage here later on as things have really ramped up. As again, you can see a well-defined tropical system probably developing out here. So just be mindful of that. We'll be here to guide you through things as necessary throughout the rest of the day.